Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we embark on a profound exploration of one of the most intricate and enduring conflicts in our world, the Israel-Palestine conflict. This is not just a tale of geopolitics, it's a story of lives, history, and shared aspirations. In this video, we'll delve deep into the historical background, core issues at the heart of the conflict, the devastating consequences of war, and the paths towards peace. Number 1. Historical background. The roots of the Israel-Palestine conflict can be traced back to the late 19th and early 20th centuries, a period marked by significant changes in the region. During this time, several key developments laid the groundwork for the conflict. Ottoman Empire. The area that now encompasses Israel and Palestine was part of the Ottoman Empire for centuries. It was a region with a diverse population, including Arab Muslims, Arab Christians, and a smaller Jewish minority. Zionism. In the late 19th century, a political movement called Zionism emerged in Europe, particularly among Jewish communities. Zionists sought to establish a Jewish homeland in Palestine, believing it to be the historical and spiritual homeland of the Jewish people. British Mandate. During World War I, the British defeated the Ottoman Empire and, in the aftermath, were granted control over Palestine. In 1917, the British government issued the Balfour Declaration, expressing support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. Jewish immigration. Following the Balfour Declaration, Jewish immigration to Palestine increased. Jewish settlements were established, leading to tensions with the Arab population. 1947 UN Partition Plan. As British rule became untenable, the United Nations proposed a partition plan in 1947. It recommended dividing Palestine into separate Jewish and Arab states, with Jerusalem under international administration. The plan was accepted by the Jewish leadership, but rejected by the Arab states. Declaration of the State of Israel. In 1948, the State of Israel was declared, leading to a war with neighboring Arab states. The outcome of this war had far-reaching consequences for the region, with Israel gaining control of significant territory beyond the borders proposed in the UN partition plan. The historical background sets the stage for understanding the conflicting claims to the land, which is central to the Israel-Palestine conflict. Jews see Israel as their ancestral homeland, and the establishment of the state was a fulfillment of long-held aspirations. Palestinians, on the other hand, view the establishment of Israel as a loss of their land and heritage, resulting in displacement and suffering for many. This historical context is crucial to comprehending the emotional and political dimensions of the conflict, as it represents not just a modern dispute, but a long-standing issue intertwined with deep-seated historical and cultural connections. Number 2. The core issues. Certainly, the core issues of the Israel-Palestine conflict are central to understanding the ongoing disputes and tensions in the region. These issues revolve around territorial disputes, the right of return for Palestinian refugees, the status of Jerusalem, and Israeli settlements in the West Bank. Territorial disputes, historical claims. Both Israelis and Palestinians have historical and emotional ties to the land, making territorial disputes a core issue. For Jews, Israel is the historic homeland, while Palestinians consider the land theirs based on centuries of heritage, borders, and boundaries. The conflict is exacerbated by disagreements over borders and boundaries. What constitutes a fair and just division of the land has been a central point of contention. Right of return for Palestinian refugees. Displacement. Since the establishment of Israel in 1948, millions of Palestinians were displaced from their homes. Many became refugees, creating one of the world's largest refugee populations. Right to return. Palestinians argue for the right of return, believing that those who were displaced, as well as their descendants, should have the right to return to their ancestral homes. Israel is concerned that this could alter the country's demographic balance and threaten its existence as a Jewish majority state. Status of Jerusalem. Religious and cultural significance. Jerusalem holds immense religious and cultural significance for Jews, Christians, and Muslims. It's home to some of the world's most holy sites, including the Western Wall, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Competing claims. Both Israelis and Palestinians claim Jerusalem as their capital. The city's status is one of the most contentious issues in the conflict, with both sides deeply invested in the control and sovereignty over Jerusalem. Israeli settlements in the West Bank. Settlement expansion. Israeli settlements in the West Bank have been a major point of contention. These settlements, established in territory that Palestinians see as part of their future state, continue to expand, making a two-state solution increasingly challenging. Security concerns. Israel often cites security concerns as a reason for these settlements. However, the international community views them as obstacles to peace and illegal under international law. The core issues are deeply intertwined, and resolving them is critical to finding a lasting solution to the Israel-Palestine conflict. Achieving a fair balance between the rights and aspirations of both Israelis and Palestinians while ensuring peace and security remains a formidable challenge, but one that is essential for a peaceful future in the region. Number 3. The harms of war. The most heart-wrenching aspect of this conflict is the profound harm caused by war. It's not just a political or territorial struggle. It's about real people suffering, loss of life. Every life lost is not just a statistic, but a human tragedy. Thousands of lives have been taken on both sides, leaving behind grieving families and communities. Displacement. The conflict has led to the displacement of millions of Palestinians. And these are not just numbers, they're individuals and families who have lost their homes and often their sense of security. Economic and infrastructure damage. Ongoing conflicts have resulted in significant damage to infrastructure, hampering economic growth and development in the region, making it difficult for people to rebuild their lives. Psychological trauma. War leaves deep emotional scars, and survivors, particularly children, often face long-lasting psychological trauma that affects their mental health and well-being for years. International repercussions. The Israel-Palestine conflict has far-reaching effects, straining international relations, triggering global debates over the role of superpowers, the United Nations, and humanitarian agencies. The world grapples with the moral and ethical dilemmas that arise from this conflict. The hope for peace is what keeps many going, even in the midst of this seemingly intractable conflict. Several efforts and initiatives have been made to find a solution. Negotiations and diplomacy. Diplomatic efforts have been central to the search for peace. Peace talks and negotiations have occurred at various points in history, with the aim of finding a just and lasting solution. The two-state solution. The two-state solution remains a widely discussed possibility. It envisions a future where Israel and Palestine exist side by side as independent states, each with its own secure borders. However, this solution faces considerable obstacles, including the status of Jerusalem, security concerns, and the disposition of Israeli settlements. Thank you for joining us today. If you found this video informative, please like, share, and comment. Subscribe for more content on current events and global issues. Until next time, stay informative.